Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I'm going to be talking to you guys about some things that made me realise I should probably go and get an ADHD assessment. So as you guys know, obviously I've spoken multiple times about my behaviour in school, in college, at home, and I don't really want to talk about that much anymore. I kind of wanted to let you into some more of my ADHD traits that I have had growing up and what I do now. I feel like these kind of traits in a female may go super undiagnosed and super missed. So I want to discuss some of these things in here. As me personally, I never really saw them as much of an ADHD trait. I saw it more as, you know, that's just me. Being someone who was kind of missed and kind of went through education, just being labelled naughty and not really getting any help, I want to discuss some things that, you know, might not look like ADHD, but it is ADHD. And I want to raise awareness that teachers can maybe pick up on some of these small little traits that might not look like anything, but they are major ADHD traits. So let's get on to today's video. But first, if you could smash me a big thumbs up down below and subscribe to my YouTube channel, I will forever be grateful. So let's get on to the video. So yeah, like I said, I don't want to talk about school behaviour that much in this video because to me, I've spoken about that and I've raised awareness of girls' ADHD kind of traits behaviourally, but I haven't spoken a lot about the other emotional kind of traits that I had growing up and I still have. So the first one in my book is I find it really hard to make friends. The next one is I can't commit to anything. I am told I am really impulsive and demanding. The next one says I can be talking to someone and paying attention, but my mind is replaying things I have heard and seen yesterday, today. I can't remember what that conversation was even about, and I just feel rude because I can be looking you in the eye and nodding and looking as though I'm engaged in the conversation, but really I'm thinking about what happened yesterday, what happened the day before, what happened the day before, and I'm not listening to what you're saying. Not because I'm being rude, but because my brain's just on the go and it's just difficult to pay attention sometimes in conversation. The next one is I find starting tasks really difficult and maintaining focus throughout the whole task is really difficult. The next one is my moods change so fast. I say horrible things and I can be really nasty with what I say, and I'm going to kind of tell you some of the things I've listed here. It's really important that I be honest and open up to you guys about some of the things that I used to say, which could be really hurtful. So I used to say things to my dad in anger like, I hope you die, go kill yourself. And you know, it's things like that that they upset me now because I think I'd never want that to happen, but it's not me talking, it's my anger. I just don't know how to verbalize how I'm feeling and I just express my anger in ways that I don't even know. It's just horrible and it's difficult sometimes. So the next one is when I get angry, I punch walls, slam doors so hard the doors will come off the frame. I sometimes punch myself and hurt myself because I'm so frustrated with everything. So the next one is my anxiety is so bad. I used to have one-to-one sessions to help, but they never did help me. I just couldn't concentrate on how they were trying to help. I was more concerned with things I had heard in the group sessions. Things would play around my head, even in the silence. My mind was worried about everything else. So the next one I've kind of spoken about, so I'm not going to go really in depth with it, but it's I've never been in trouble with the police, but in education, work environments, I find it hard to follow simple rules, behaviour, uniform, timekeeping. I was excluded from school multiple times, college excluded and kicked out, sent to a pupil referral unit at school because I couldn't cope with mainstream 24/7. Authority is very, very difficult for me. So I know a lot of people will be able to like relate to this one, and it is I can walk into rooms to get something in particular, but I'll walk out with something completely different, then I have to go back and get it again because I forgot what I was going to get. So the next one is, I don't know if it, I mean, I'm going to explain it. It's kind of difficult to explain, so I'm going to just try my hardest. I always have to find a mother figure wherever I go. I find it hard when I'm not with my mum. My anxiety becomes very high, scared, worried, I'm on edge, and I just feel very overwhelmed with the environment around me. So when I was at school, like I said, I had to have 2 mentors because they were both female, and I just found it very, very, you know, comforting to have 2 women, older women that were motherly kind of figures that helped me. My previous jobs, I've had to find women figures, like mother figures that were just there, because otherwise I just couldn't cope. So I hope I've explained that all right, and it's like coming across like, it's difficult to explain, but basically I can't be anywhere without having like a motherly figure, because I feel on edge if I don't have someone that I know's got my back, or like, yeah. I've always had trouble sleeping. So throughout like my whole entire life, my mum and dad have had like sleep therapists, people come around, try to help me get into a good sleeping routine. It just hasn't happened for me, and life itself is so kind of demanding that sleep for me is not an option. Like if I go to sleep, I'm lucky. Before it, like, it's difficult because sometimes I'm so exhausted that I need to sleep, but my mind is just constantly going, and it's difficult to like switch off my brain. I'll be up all night trying to go to sleep, but like if I'm not on my phone, it's like, well, what can I do? Because I'm not just going to sit in the dark for like 4 hours until I can get up and actually go like do something. So yeah, sleeping is really difficult. I've always kind of co-slept with my parents, like until like I was a lot older than many people, but I still struggle with sleeping now. I can't sleep in my own bedroom on my own. I have to sleep on my parents' floor. I just can't sleep independently. I struggle, like panic attacks, kind of vivid dreams that scare me. Like I just struggle with sleep basically. So watching films and TV in general is a real challenge. I just can't stay focused. But not even that, like if I watch a film or a TV series, I can become really emotionally like involved and attached to people in films and programs for some reason, and it's really difficult for me to detach that and kind of realise that it's not real Molly, like that they haven't actually died or they're not actually going to get hurt. Like the tension and the stress, and I just become really overwhelmed and I can't kind of switch off from it, and it makes me on edge, and I just have to get up and walk away because it's just so stressful. Even the music, dun, 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 like the whole music just stresses me out, and I'm like, yeah, I'm out of here. So noises really get on my nerves. If it's a noise that I like, if it was only like a one-off noise, just, I could deal with that and I'll just be like, but if it's a noise like that goes like and it goes on and I'm like it freaks me out, and I just it makes me angry. Like if I have, for example, hiccups or a twitchy feeling in my leg, or that noise in my ear, like when you know that, yeah, basically I freak out. So when's it gonna go, when's it gonna go, when's it gonna go? And I hate hiccups and I hate the noises, hate the twitchy feelings, because I'm just like, stop. I don't like things that like last for like quite a while. I don't like it. If I have no control, if I can't just stop it, it freaks me out, and I'm like, stop, and then I'm like getting angry and frustrated because I want it to stop, and then yeah, that's it really. I just don't like things that last kind of like a long time. So this one has always kind of caused me issues, and it probably always will, but I know consequences. I know right from wrong. I know when I shouldn't be doing something, and I know when I should be doing something, and like what's wrong, what's right, what's going to hurt someone, basically I know consequences. I know what could happen if I do something wrong, but I still do it, and I don't know why. Like I know you're gonna make, you know, you're gonna get in trouble with your parents. It's like you're gonna get detention, you're gonna get excluded, you're gonna whatever. I know it's wrong, but I can't help but do it. Like I know deep down like I shouldn't be doing this, but that doesn't stop me doing it, and that always got on my nerves. Like people are like, why did you do it? And I'd be like, well, I don't know why I done it. I know it was wrong, but I still did it, and I was just like, I knew it was going to annoy someone, and that kind of thing. Like I knew it was going to annoy them, so actually I wanted to do it even more. Like that kind of thing. Like I don't know, I never had control over that, and it really bugs me. So this kind of happens quite frequently. And a lot of people would say it's zoning out, but the thing is I don't think it's zoning out. Like it's almost like I can look into space or something and it's empty. Like I'm not thinking anything, I'm not feeling anything, and I know subconsciously, I know I'm like just staring at the wall, and I know that, and I can hear my own thoughts, but like it's just like empty feeling. I've never kind of understood what that is, but all these things have just kind of led me to think, what is going on? So I find it really difficult to, you know, form relationships with people other than my mum. I still find my sister and my dad and the rest of my family really uncomfortable to be around, because I don't understand their emotions, and sometimes the way that they speak, their tone of voice, their body language, it confuses me, and you know, it can lead to arguments because they'll say something and I'm like, why the hell are you starting on me for? And they're like, I didn't say nothing. But to me it's like, well, you did, because it's offended me, and yeah. So when I get anxious or scared, I start to kind of pace around the house. Like I have a like place where I go in my house that I feel the most kind of safe, the most comfortable. And even then, I'm still pacing up, down, up, down, up, down, because I can't regulate how I'm feeling. I can't, you know, I can't get it in my head that it's okay. You don't need to worry. It's all right. I can't regulate that, and I can't even reassure myself. I can't calm myself down. I can't control how I'm feeling. So my emotions and my anxiety are really kind of like crazy. So this is something that a lot of people might understand, they may not. I'm not sure. I always want more than what I've got, you know. I could go out and buy a laptop, and then the next day I'm like, oh, I wish I could have got the other one. You know, I'm never satisfied with what I've got, and like I'm really impulsive. So if I want something, I'll get it there and then if I can, like with the money. If not, then I'll be researching ways to get loans, and you know, my mind's just like always wanting something else. It's never satisfied of like what I've got. Like it's just my mind and me, I just always want something more, and I'm never like settled or happy with what I've got. And it can make you kind of look like you're quite ungrateful, or you're not happy with your life, or you're just being downright, you know, ignorant. But the thing is, it's not that. I find it difficult to like, I don't know, I don't know. All of these things are still very confusing, but I know that a lot of this, obviously, like I said, I've given it to an ADHD specialist who diagnosed me, and she said most of them and pretty much all of them are ADHD. If they're not ADHD, they're autistic traits. So I know that there is an explanation for this. So, you know, it's just really intense for me. So for me, and I know this is, it's not funny because a lot of people do get quite like at me and they're like, stop. But the thing is, I have to have people's attention on me when I'm talking to them. Otherwise, I get like really agitated. So for example, if I'm starting a conversation with someone and then they look away, and then they're like, I am listening. I'm like, well, you're not, are you? Like, I get really defensive because I'm just like, why aren't you listening to me? Because like, honestly, for me, I like it when people look at me. Like, I'm not, like, I have to have them looking at me, or even at least looking in my direction. Like, I just find it really hard to handle if they're not looking at me, because I can't tell if they're listening. I don't know what their reaction is. I can't understand if they get, like, I just find it hard. So growing up, I always wanted to join brownies, cheerleading, rainbows, football, whatever clubs, right? Army cadet. There were so many clubs that I joined, and I was like, yes, mum, I promise you I'm gonna do it longer than 2 weeks. I'm gonna do it. So they'll buy me the uniform. And as you know, these uniforms, they're not cheap. They're like 40, 50 quid sometimes. They're expensive. So, you know, my parents were like, oh, all right, we'll let you do it. And they let me do it, and then I get bored, and then the cycle kind of carries on. Like, I know I can't commit to things. I have really no interest. I just don't know where I fit in, basically. I just find life difficult to navigate, and I think, oh, I'm going to enjoy this, and I'll go there and I'm like, oh no. Or like, I feel like I don't fit in. I feel like people don't like me, and then I'm like, yeah, I can't be here. And yeah, things just become really overwhelming and difficult for me. So this is something my dad is literally always nagging me about, and like not having a go, but he's always like, why can't you just do it yourself? So for me, if someone rings me up on the phone, I'm literally declining it. Even if I've got the phone in my hand and I'm expecting a call, I'm like, no, can't pick up. No. Then I'll let them kind of leave a message. And if they don't, I'm like, oh, it's obviously it's not important. And they text me and they're like, can I talk to you? I need to talk to you. And I'm like, what have I done? And then my brain's like going like 10 to a dozen, and I'm just like, what is going on? Basically, I can't ring the doctors to make an appointment. My mum and dad have to. Like, if I need to pay a bill, or like, I don't know, something's gone wrong in my bank, anything. If I have to ring up a place, I will not do it. I stutter, and then I start talking about a load of rubbish, and I'm just like, then I'm just like talking really fast, and they're like, can you say that again? Because like, I don't know what you said. So I'm always worried about my future all the time. So I compare myself to others all the time. Like, if I haven't got that, then I'm not good enough. So I don't like drinking out of glasses or like cutlery that I haven't seen be washed, because I get very kind of paranoid that they've been in bleach, or someone's, I don't know, trying to poison me. So, oh dear. So I said it before, criticism is something I cannot handle. I don't like it, and I don't appreciate it, and it gets me angry. Again, I can become really depressed with something you've said, and I just self-internalize it, and I'll pick myself apart. And then if someone's like, Oh no, but I didn't mean it like it's bad. I was just trying to give you a good pointer. Like, to me, I don't appreciate it. Like, it's not criticism. To me, it's like hate speech, and I can't help, like, I just can't, I can't handle it. So my social interaction skills are very, I'm not good at it. I don't know what to say. I don't know how to start and initiate conversations. Talking to people is just not something I'm good at. So yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I mean, not that you guys would have kind of guessed, but I'm pretty immature for being a 22-year-old. Like, I am pretty childish. To me as well, a lot of things people my age could do, I couldn't do, like taking control of like mortgages or budgeting or like going shopping, you know, all these like adult-y things. I couldn't do it. Don't, like, oh my god, I wouldn't even trust myself. Like, I'm not good at any of that. Like, I'm not, and I'm not even gonna lie. I'm not even gonna try and big myself. I'm not good at that. I'm not, and I'm being honest. Like, I am probably mentally like a 14-year-old because I'm not good at anything like adult-y. So I wanted to share those kind of like traits that I have with you to try and, you know, explain that ADHD is much more than what people think. It's not about kids being naughty. Some of our behaviour is a way of us communicating because we don't have, you know, the executive functioning skills that actually allow us to, you know, regulate our emotions, be able to be on top and control ourselves. And it's very difficult when you do lack some of those, because when you lack some of those skills, basically everything else goes out the window, because it's just difficult, because that little thing, even though it's only a tiny aspect of you as a person, it makes a huge difference to not have it. So what I kind of wanted to just get out and raise awareness of is that ADHD is much more than just being naughty or hyperactive. Like I said, being hyperactive, it has many forms of hyperactivity. It's not just hyperactivity as in like bouncing, jumping off the walls, being hyper. There's so much more to it, and I have done videos on it before, so I will put it in the iCat. So if you do want to watch them, go ahead and learn that there are more forms of hyperactivity. So I hope you have learned something from this video, and obviously I hope you have enjoyed it. But my videos are aimed to try and educate people on ADHD, try to raise awareness of the differences in ADHD from gender, age, religion. Like, there's so many things, aspects of ADHD that, you know, are different, and I really do believe that, you know, gender is a huge thing. Like, females can have ADHD just as much as boys. Boys can have the inattentive type of ADHD. Girls can have the boy type of ADHD, which is the hyperactivity. Like, people just assume that because you're a girl, you're not going to have the boy traits. But the thing is, you do, but they're not boy traits. They're ADHD traits. They're not gender specific. They're not. And that's what I want everyone to realise, that ADHD is not, it doesn't discriminate. If you've got it, you've got it. Don't matter about anything. So thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye.